Hi everyone, I am Nikki Gray with the Community Foundation of Medicine Hats in Southeastern Alberta. I welcome you to the Community Foundation's 2023 Founders Day Picnic. I'm thrilled that you chose to join us this evening in celebration of donors and charities and just to celebrate philanthropy as a whole. A few housekeeping notes. Washrooms are located inside the Carriage House directly behind me. And there are 2 exits if required, out through the park and through these doors. If you need accessibility, I don't know if you can go around. Yeah, you can go around that way or out through the front. Just won't stay out. And I hope you're able to enjoy a complimentary beverage and some appetizers. If you didn't receive a drink ticket, you can find one of our team members. Stay away from Barb, she might give you more than one. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional lands of the Indigenous people. The land in which we celebrate on this evening is recognized as the traditional territory of Treaty 7, neighboring Treaty 4. It is a privilege to pay respect to all Indigenous people while honoring their past, present, and future. I'd like to take a quick moment to recognize the dignitaries that are here with us this evening. We have County Councillor Deputy Reeve Richard Oster. City of Medicine Hat Councillor Allison Van Dyke. And City of Medicine Hat Councillor Ramona Robbins. We all took a scan before that, so if I missed anyone, just let me know. The Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta is a charitable organization that serves the needs of the region by supporting vibrant, healthy, and caring communities. What makes us different from other charities is that donations made to the Community Foundation are never spent. They're invested, and it's from the investment revenue that we're able to grant back out to charities across our region today, tomorrow, and forever. Our mission is to make meaningful connections between donors and local charities for the permanent benefits of Southeastern Alberta. This is exciting, I get nervous. Since we were established in '92 by local rancher John Ignatius, CFSCA has distributed over $9.6 million in grants supporting charitable organizations across the region. Events like this are not made possible without the generosity of our sponsors. Thank you to Les Scholey and Pritchard & Company Law Firm for being a supporter of the Community Foundation's work and generously sponsoring this picnic since 2011. Please join me up here for sponsor address.
All right, thanks, Nikki. I'm here today to bring greetings on behalf of Pritchard & Company Law Firm. Our firm has had the honor of serving families and businesses in Medicine Hat and area for over 100 years. Not me personally, just part of those 100 years. And while our firm provides a full range of legal services, we particularly enjoy assisting clients with their estate planning and estate administration work, including assistance with gifts to the Community Foundation. And an event today feels like Christmas in May. I'm told I'm starting to resemble a certain Christmas character. Think of Jack Frost more than Santa. But we're here to recognize and thank the generous donor businesses, individuals, and organizations who've contributed to the Community Foundation. Your compassion for our community is admirable. It's also to highlight the charitable organizations who bring about change in our community through services, programs, and projects that you as donors help fund. I really hope you enjoy your evening, and please be sure to have a drink on us. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Les, but you kind of stole my thunder because I was going to start off. For those of you who know me and those of you who don't, I'll tell you there's always a song that's going in my head. So I was going to come up and say, it's the most wonderful time of the... And he says it's like Christmas in May. Like, come on, it takes away. Anyways, thank you very much. We're on the same page. And if Les and Pritchard and Company were not so generous, you would be drinking water and bringing your own snacks. So thank them for this beautiful display and all that we have. Thank you again, Les. Some other hardworking people that we wouldn't be here without them are the board that we have. All of these people, we have 15 people on our board, and they all volunteer a huge amount of time to make the Community Foundation as successful as it is. I would like to recognize these people today. I'm going to ask them to stand up, and then there are some who are very busy and were not able to make it, and I'll read those names at the end. So the first is Julie Friesen. She's our vice chair. We have Tyler Posick, who is our treasurer. He's our money man. Cheryl Posick, who is our secretary. They are related. Jim MacArthur is the chair of our endowment committee. He's in the back. Glenda Hawthorne is our chair of our grants committee. Matthew Lofgren is one of our board members. Dan Sakamoto, I saw him, he's like, excellent. He's a board member. Kyle Pudwell is a board member. I think he's at the back, is that right? Oh, maybe not. Okay. Josh Hudson is a board member. Doug Little is a board member. And these board members were not able to make it. David Andrews, Ahmed Kasim, Jennifer Ma, and Cody Ibbotson. Please, a round of applause for these 15 dedicated people. Today we also want to recognize one very dedicated board member who's been with us for 6 years. If you are interested in sitting on our board, you sit and sign up for 2 3-year terms. And Cheryl has been with us for 6 years, and for all 6 of those years, she has been our secretary and our chair of our grants committee. So she has worked very, very hard. Her background is in banking, and so it's been lovely whenever we're kind of talking, she's, well, you know, in the bank, and so it has been a great perspective that she has given to us. So I would like us to recognize Cheryl for a very hardworking, long 6 years that she has been with our board. Thank you so much. So because Cheryl is leaving, we will have actually one new board member that's going to be joining us. We have a committee that was designed by our act when John Ignatius put this together. And it's comprised of the mayor of City of Medicine Hat, a judge from a provincial court, the president of the Chamber of Commerce, and a mayor or reed from a community outside of the Medicine Hat. They have chosen a new person to fill our vacancy, and I would like you to give a warm welcome to our newest board member who will officially join our board July 1st, Don McLennan. He is here. Dawn comes with a very wide background of different things, but the one thing that I kind of liked about him is when I was a little girl, I loved to make mud pies, and Dawn knows dirt. He knows about all that. So if you ever want to talk dirt, he's the guy to go to. I would also like to introduce an amazing staff. So we come, we go, we're here for 6 years maybe, and we sort of pop into the office and we do our little bits. This team of people are amazing, and as the chairperson, I cannot get over how hard they work and how much they have helped me in the last 2 years. So the first on this list and the leader extraordinaire is Nikki Gray, the executive director. Please welcome. And she has amazing shoes. Next on my list, is Jamie Nelson. She's our community engagement coordinator, and she has worked very hard with this. Then we have Sydney Ratzlaff. She's our community engagement coordinator who's on parental leave because she has a baby boy who's 10 months old. She'll be joining us again in the fall. Sydney? Barbara Kentworthy, who has extra tickets if you're looking for them, is our finance administrator, and wow. We would not be here without her. She's the one who carves all the checks that I get to sign. Then Della Burkett is a regional development coordinator. She works with our rural committees and has been just doing an amazing job. She's fairly new, but she hit the ground running and has just done an amazing job. Della, thank you. Lauren Friesen came on board, actually relatively new as well. She does our vital signs research, and we're having a vital signs major event in the fall. Please watch for it. And Lauren is heading this. She's also a project coordinator for a project where we're going to do create a toolkit for other community organizations community foundations to set up community agency funds. So anyways, Lauren is our person. Lauren. Thank you. Bailey Richardson, if you come into the office, Bailey is our administrative coordinator. She's the first smiling face that you are going to see when you walk in. She's amazing. Thank you very much. Nicole Nichols is here, and she is our Brookson District Community Fund Coordinator. She has come in, and she's been with Brooks for a number of years, and they are doing amazing things out in Brooks, and it is directly related to the work that Nicole does. Thank you very much, Nicole. So I want to talk quickly about some of the major things that we've done in 2022-2023. The first one was our vital conversation. It was a report, and it highlighted the greatest needs. We used that report to focus where we want to give our grant money to. So when you fill out an application, we try to put that focus. So this one came out in need of, no surprise, mental health, work and economy, and vulnerable populations who are experiencing domestic violence, food insecurity, and insecure housing. So that's one of the things that we did. In partnership with the Canadian government, we distributed $385,000 in additional funds to this region through it's called the Community Services Recovery Fund. The federal government often will come to us. They came to us during the flood, and they said, hey, can you give this money? They came to us during COVID, and they said, hey, can we use you as a funnel? Because we know you have all the stuff in place to do this. And so this was another one of those times when they came to us, can you do this? And this staff steps up and does it. The board doesn't do it. The staff does all the work. Finally, we're going to be in launching this endowment building toolkit that I spoke of that Lauren has been working with to help them establish their own agency endowment to ensure long-term sustainability. Okay, this is the one that I love to talk about. It's now we're going to talk money. So this year, we have distributed over almost $1.2 million this year. I'm not talking like last 5 years. This year alone in grants and charitable agencies. So, thank you. That is only because of you that we're able to do this. So thank you so much. 1.2 million. Just remember that. When you go home and say, where were you? You say, hey, 1.2 million came into our community. So at 1.2. Our total endowment right now is currently standing at approximately 25 million. Like most people, we're kind of up and down, but we're trending up again. So 25 million is our endowment. I'm going to hand it over to Nikki.
You're such a breath of fresh air, Francis. Our entire team, as you heard from Francis, has been quite busy, our volunteers and our staff. All of that we couldn't do without our amazing volunteers, committee members, board members. We are going to do a few impact speakers so everybody can get a good idea of what we do and why we do it. So I'm excited to hear from... No, at this time I'm going to welcome impact speaker Carol Surretts with the Meewasin Friendship Center. She's all the way across the side, so I'll talk to her. Carol is here to speak about the $10,000 grants that the Friendship Center received for their Ribbons, Fabric, and Connection to Culture project. Welcome, Carol. Oki, Tanse, Tanchi, Ani, hello. Good afternoon. My name is Carol Surratt. I'm a Anishinaabe woman. So I grew up in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. My dad is from Batchewana First Nation, so he's First Nations, and my mom was Ukrainian. And I moved to Medicine Hat actually with what I call my forever family. So my foster family, Kathy and Stephen. And so we've been residing in Medicine Hat, I think, for about 15 years. And for the last 10 years, I've been working at the Meowsin Friendship Center. So in my work at the Meowsin Friendship Center, first mentoring our urban Indigenous youth, and now as a counselor, I have always strived to model the behavior of a good person, to walk in a good way, and to set an example for our youth and for my peers. And I'm honored to hold a respected position in our community today, which brings me before you here. I did not grow up in my culture. Since moving to Medicine Hat and working at the Friendship Center, I've been honored to have been given the teachings from the elders and the knowledge keepers within our community. And that's why when I speak, I always want to honor the Blackfoot, so Oki, the Cree, Tanse, and the Métis, Tanchi, and that's how you say hello in those languages. So I always want to honor them and what brings me here today. So I'm blessed and fortunate to spend my time leading change and making a difference in our community, just as the Community Foundations of Southeastern Alberta is doing. We were given a Smart and Caring grant. It was called Ribbons, Fabrics, and Connection to Culture. With this funding, we were able to get 7 sewing machines, as well as a serger and supplies to host ribbon skirt workshops. So if you haven't seen a ribbon skirt before, this is it. Thank you. So often urban Indigenous youth and women do not have the opportunity to own their own ribbon skirt. And some may not understand the significance and the history if they grew up disconnected from their heritage, like I did. Meowsin's Ribbon Skirt Workshop enabled participants to receive traditional teachings about the history of the ribbon skirt, a sacred clothing item that carries great weight within Indigenous culture. So prior to European contact, Indigenous people handmade their clothing from animal hides, furs, and used natural dyes for decoration. And today we make it out of cotton and ribbons. So the silhouette of the skirt represents the outline of the teepee. Historically, it was women who cared for the home fire in the teepee. And that's our connection to Mother Earth. When we wear our skirt, it touches Mother Earth, it touches that ground, and that's our spiritual connection. Choosing your fabrics and your ribbon colors tells a story of who we are as individuals and how we are connected to our community. I'm grateful to count another year on my own personal journey as I take the next steps on my path and watch our youth, clients, and families grow in understanding of who they are and where they come from. For many of those participating in our workshops, it's the first time they've been even using a sewing machine. So I have to say that was one of the greatest things about having this grant and having the funds to be able to host these workshops, is that with these funds we were able to purchase sewing machines. Prior to that, we had sewing machines that were donated, which is amazing, but I didn't grow up sewing, neither did my coworkers, so there was a little bit of a learning curve there.
So I want to go into my impact story now, and it's talking a little bit about my journey of working at Meowson. When I first started working at Meowson, I was working with the youth program, and my coworker and I thought it'd be a great idea to take the youth in our van to the Peace Powwow in Lethbridge. And so we filled up the van and we went to the Peace Powwow. What I noticed about that, going to Lethbridge, and that was like 7 years ago, is that we saw women, youth wearing their skirts, and they were wearing them proudly, and they had their beaded earrings and they had their skirt, and that wasn't something we saw in Medicine Hat. Not at that time, not when we had our events. People would come into our community and wear those clothing items, but it wasn't, at that time, that wasn't a thing. And so with this grant, we were able to host ribbon skirt workshops, and we had one particular workshop where we had youth to adults attend. And when you host an event, there's something that we call a sharing circle, where everybody shares something in that circle, because we all have something to give. Even from the youth to the adults, we all have something to give to that circle. And so we had a sharing circle. We shared what we knew about the ribbon skirt, and the young ones shared about how they were excited about the colors that they were choosing. They were excited about the patterns, and that they were excited to learn. And when it got to us, the staff, it was emotional, because we were noticing that there was a shift in our own community where the young generations were going to learn that they can create these items and that they can be proud of who they were. And that wasn't something that my generation or the generations before me always had the opportunity to have. And so it was really impactful. And I want to share a quote from one of my coworkers who actually attended the ribbon skirt workshop. She was 38 at the time, and she attended because she was borrowing a ribbon skirt. And so she wanted to create one for herself. So here's her quote. "It was absolutely amazing to discover the confidence I had in myself to create something so meaningful, and being there to watch the confidence unfold in the youth was extremely emotional for me. It was beautiful." So having a skirt of our own is important, so we can be proud of who we are and not be ashamed to be Indigenous. Through these continued classes, we're hoping to increase visibility, awareness, and knowledge about the ribbon shirt, and to share their beautiful stories. We're bringing back our culture and reclaiming our identity. Thank you for the opportunity to share our gratitude for this gift. Chi miigwech. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Next up, we have Cycling Without Age. They were grant recipients for the Community Impact Award in 2021. Took them a couple of years through COVID to finally get all of the shipments here and the bikes built. They received funding to purchase and build 2 Trishaw bikes. You may or may not have seen it out front, or maybe you even got a ride. But I would like to welcome up Chris and Dan.
Thanks, Nikki. I think it's really important when donors and community service agencies can see the impact of the dollars. And so, as Nikki said, our bikes, we got the grant in 2021, and then COVID hit, and then the supply chain issue hit. But we got the bikes late last fall, just before the snow fell. And we have 2 community foundation bikes at Cypress View Foundation. We had our grand opening on May 17th. And I just wanted to share the excitement that these residents, seniors, many of them who have very little family contact, who don't get out very often, got out on a bike with a helmet on and a seatbelt, and off they went. And we're just really, really grateful for the grant. And the residents were just thrilled. I mean, to see the smiles on their faces, and, the wind in their hair and the sun on their face, and riding a bike again, technically, after so many years, was just amazing. Our goal with Cycling Without Age is to have 6 Trishaws by 2025. And the cost of a trishaw with all of the, I'm just going to put a plug in here if that's okay. The cost of the trishaws, everything all in with equipment and storage and locks and volunteer pilot training is about $15,000. So I kind of hate to go back to the same, trough twice. So if anybody is aware of a service club that would like to help us out, we have seniors residence facilities lined up to request a trishaw, and with our volunteer pilots. Dan is our mechanic extraordinaire who knows everything about a bike and how to train people like me who forget the gears daily. But it's just been a great experience. So thank you very, very much, Nikki. We're very grateful. You want to say anything? You can.
Hi there. I'd just like to acknowledge Julie Lacasse. She's not here today. She's down east, but this was her dream to get it started. So she really put a lot of effort in making this work, and I'm sure she wanted to be here. And she's a lady of a lot of words, and I promised I would actually give a lot of words for her. So the bikes I was here last year, we had a virtual bike. Julie talked about it. You didn't see it. We actually have one out there, and I think most of you have seen it now. So it came with, there was 3 bikes. There's one over at Masterpiece as well. There was 9 boxes. It took about 8 hours per bike, but it did come with that 1 Allen wrench. Okay. So just one other thing is that we have a pilot pool. The pilot, that's the riders at the back. You get a cool name like a pilot. Okay. We have a pool now of about 15, right? And we've just started our first rides today at Cypress View, and the residents got out today. We've got a slate tomorrow for the whole day. And it looks like if it becomes really popular, we can use additional pilots. So you could go to Cycling Without Age and let somebody know there if you're interested in volunteering to be a pilot. The commitment is whatever you want to do. I think the most of the work was getting the thing up and running and the logistics behind it. So anyways, that's my spiel. Okay.
Yes. Julie would say, merci beaucoup.
Thank you, Chris and Dan. I believe we have 2 more Impact speakers. I'm excited to welcome up Impact speaker Jennifer Kish-Lake with the Beach Project to talk about the Brandon Niwa Legacy Fund. Through the Medicine Hat College, the Beach Project received a $10,000 grant to support community connection. Welcome, Jen.
Hello, my name is Jen Kerslake. I'm the Director of Community Engagement for Medicine Hat College. 3 years ago, on this day, May 29th, the world lost a vivacious, hilarious, mischievous, wonderful man named Brandon Niwa. Suicide is complex. It's unpredictable, it's guttural, it's incomprehensible for those that are left to grieve. To try and make sense of the unfathomable loss to their family, the Niwas chose to give back to our community in honor of Brandon. Medicine Hat College is the very proud leaders of the Brandon Niwa Legacy Fund, affectionately known as the Beach Project. The sole intention of the Beach Project is to provide community mental health education and research. Mental health is a community problem, profoundly impacting our schools and our families. That's why the Beach Project is led by an advisory committee of representatives from Medicine Hat College, Medicine Hat Public School Division, Medicine Hat Catholic Board of Education, Prairie Rose School Division, and Medicine Hat Police Service. Collectively, the Beach Project Advisory Group works to ensure there is a collaborative effort in community mental health response to the individuals and families to which we serve. Through private donations from the Niwa family, community citizens, and annual contributions from the Niwa Family Fund held within the Community Foundation, the Beach Project can offer mental health educational opportunities. Over the last 2.5 years, the Beach Project has provided 7 in-person community conversations on a wide variety of topics around mental health. trauma, adverse childhood experiences, brain development, grief and loss, all delivered by exceptional professionals. We have produced and published a Community Connection mental health video series of 17 videos where local professionals share their expertise on a broad range of topics around mental health, creating compassion and a better understanding of individual experiences through personal stories and research-based knowledge, all while providing insight into available tools and resources to build strength, resiliency, and overcome challenging experiences. This video series was supported in funding through a Community Foundation grant that believed in the impact of this grassroots initiative. The Beach Project provided funding to the Medicine Hat Police Service for the implementation of the Health I Am app. This app supports frontline officers who are responding to mental health calls, which typically average 3 per day in the city of Medicine Hat. Medicine Hat College will be receiving general data from that Health I Am app to ensure our students, the future workforce of this region, have a real-life, real-time information on the mental health pulse from the policing lens. We are currently working with extraordinary professionals to develop curriculum that can be accessed and consumed by all members of the public on a variety of mental health topics, specifically focused on adolescents and families. It's through the profound generosity of donors that the Beach Project Advisory Committee can collaborate and initiate the mental health educational needs for our community in real time. When our community has suffered tragic, unexpected losses, our advisory committee is able to mobilize and respond to the anxious, unknowing needs of our families, friends, and neighbors. We are so grateful to the Niagara family for trusting Medicine Hat College and our advisory committee partners to offer these extraordinary educational resources to ensure that all families have access to tools, conversations, and supports around mental health. The biggest thank you to the Community Foundation for stewarding donations that are directly funneled to the Beach Project work. Another incredible testament to the power of collaboration. So in honor of Brandon today, I encourage you all to be compassionate, inquisitive, genuine, and heartfelt in your daily interactions, big or small, with those who you encounter. At the end of the day, what we're all collectively striving for is to be seen and connected to one another. Thank you.
Thank you, Jen. We are thrilled to introduce you to our final impact speaker, recipients of the 2022 Community Impact Award of $30,000, which was in celebration of our 30th anniversary last year. Mihaela, the Manager of Programming for Samis Immigration Services, and Luda, Ukrainian evacuee, are here to speak on the Circles of Care project.
Hello, everybody. Some familiar faces, some new ones. As Nikki said, I'm Mihaela, and I am the Manager of Programming and Manager of Link at Samis Immigration. As many as our clients, I started as a newcomer 31 years ago, and I really wish that there was something like this available at that time when I came to Canada. I faced some of the same struggles. I faced some of the same challenges, and I had to face them alone. I moved into a community that was 800 kilometers north of Winnipeg. It was a tiny little community. Maybe you've heard of it. Funny name, Flin Flon, Manitoba. So for me, not only I was a newcomer, I was always isolated. So Samis Immigration, in partnership with LIP Medicine Hat and with the support of Community Foundation's grant, was able and is able to make an impact in the life of the newly arrived Ukrainians like Ludmila to Medicine Hat and the area. So I'm here to talk to you about the Circle of Care project. This was created way before the wave of Ukrainian evacuees coming to Medicine Hat and to Canada. But it was kind of put it was expedited because of the situation in Ukraine. So when it was first presented, we were already working with some of the other partners in Medicine Hat in the area. But like I said, this just expedited the whole thing. The Ukrainian evacuees was something that we have never seen before. They came here with very little support, almost to no support. Once they came here, they were basically told, you find a way. So the first step of the project was, before the circles, was to find the information out there and make it accessible to them. The second one was, once we found that information, was the outreach portion. That was the most challenging part. So with that, what came along, it was the resource guide. So if you guys go on Medicine Hat LIP website, you will find this resource guide. So initially it was offered in 2 languages, in English and Ukrainian, but immediately it became a big hit as it got widely distributed, was used not only by Ukrainians, but by all the other newcomers and also service providers. So the digital copies, if you want to have a look, they are online. Please go and have a look. After the guide was created, the last step was the circles. So here is where the volunteers group that stepped up to help the Ukrainian evacuees and the faith organizations, all the other supporters around the communities created circles around them. So the host families made them feel like they belong somewhere. All these wonderful people around Medicine Hat made them like they belong somewhere. So before I can tell you about the impact, and Mila can say a little bit about that, why did the building of circles of care matter? Well, why did it matter? Because when first Ukrainians arrived to Medicine Hat and arrived to Canada, they were lost. There was no information they could reach, they could touch, they could see. They didn't know where to turn. So everything about the Ukrainian crisis evacuees, there was a mess. There was very little government support funded. I know we had a lot of them come through our doors as Samis Immigration, and we had volunteers trying to support multiple people, which meant that a lot of them fell through the cracks. So what did we do? We connected them. We connected them with service providers. We connected them with community members. We connected them with cultural groups. So with that, what else did the grant have an impact in? So this resource guide that was created, it is the best in Alberta. There is no other such thing. Other cities in Alberta are using this format and changing it to fit their cities, like Wainwright and Lethbridge are reaching out and say, can we use it? Can we use the same? You guys done an amazing job. We couldn't do this without the help of community foundations. So this outlines the circles that can we build from the host families to the community helpers to employers, everywhere we can go. I won't be too long. I'll just give you some numbers. I'm a numbers person. So I'll give you the demographics impact. So who did we want to help? We wanted to help the vulnerable population. That was our main goal, right? At first, we thought 50 Ukrainians will arrive to Medicine Hat. Up to date, we received 148 Ukrainians. A lot more than 50 that we thought at the beginning, so we had to pull forces from everywhere. Potentially, we thought there will be another 110 newcomers arriving to Medicine Hat. 96 of them arrived, which can benefit and will benefit from this guide. Other beneficiaries would be volunteers, neighbors, host employers, would be service providers and community organizations like community foundations. So the project, as it sits right now, it's ongoing, and we are working towards translating this document in multiple languages, not just English and Ukrainian. It will be available in Arabic and Khmer, any other languages that we can find and translated. So I was going to tell you an impact story from a family, but since Ludmila is here, she can tell you what this actually meant to her. How did she create her circles? Thank you.
Добрий вечір, шановна громада. Я дуже щаслива бути тут. There is some words in Ukrainian, just say you hello to everyone, and I'm very happy to be here today. And I want to start my story from just words thank you, and to be on behalf of Ukrainians, I want to say thank you very much to everybody and everyone who helped us, who support us. I want to say thank you to Community Foundation Southeastern organization that helping to collect all donations and who support us and given us the Circle of Care grant. Sorry. As you understood, yeah, from my accent, it's a little bit weird for you, but yeah, I'm from Ukraine. My full name is Ludmila Mokra. It's difficult, that's why all friends here just call me Luda. It's easier. And yeah, at the end of this week, it will be the whole year since I've been living in Medicine Hat. And it was amazing from one side, and it was very hard and difficult from the other, actually. But when I first came to Medicine Hat, I was lucky. I was really blessed because I had the greatest, wonderful host family ever. And now I just love them. They are very kind, and they helped me and they still help me and my sons to settle down here, to build my new life and just wait for my husband and my family. So, but they, of course, they are not only the person who helped us, even though they are friends, neighbors, their own relatives, even grandchildren, a lot of organizations, a lot of volunteers, a lot of people who just support us. It's so great to understand and realize that you can find here, even across the ocean, friends, families, and just people who are very kind and just willing to help you, really. And I'm very lucky and I'm very like this project because now, because of this project, I can work with many people who help Ukrainians, and I am now a part of them. And during last couple months, I helped some families to make a circle of support here in Medicine Hat, and in Alberta. And I just want to say thank you for everybody who volunteered their own time, money, their homes, their support, who opened their own houses and heart for us, and who still help us to learn English, and who still hires us and hiring us and helping us. It's really very great, and it's really very important to have many people around you when you just came, because when we just come, we don't know anybody, we don't know anything, we don't know what to do and where to go for support. And it's really scary, even because unfortunately English it's not our language, and it's really difficult to learn actually third or fourth for some like English as a language. So it's really very, very hard. And I just want to say again, thank you very much, everybody. And now here in Medicine Hat and in all Alberta, we have many families who settled down, who had job, who has place for living, who can build their own life, their new life here, and they are happy actually. And every time now when I meet Ukrainian families, they just say we are so thankful. They say a lot of word of gratitude to Canadians, to people in Medicine Hat because of the support. because of your belief in us, your everything you do for us. Really very, very thankful. Thank you very much for everything you do. And we are really lucky to have Canada and to have Medicine Hat as a friend for us. Thank you very much. Я вам щиро вдячна за вашу підтримку, за вашу довіру, за вашу допомогу, за вашу віру в нас. І я дуже рада, що ми можемо тут в Канаді знайти друзів, знайти сім'ї і вберегти своїх дітей від цієї жахливої трагедії, від цієї війни. Thank you very much again. It's just in Ukraine. Thank you.
Amazing, well done. Oh, thank you. That's not even your first language, and you gave a great speech. Well done.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. So that was last year's 2022 Impact Award. I'd like to now introduce to you Josh Hudson, who is the chair of our Community Leadership Foundation, and he's going to talk about the recipients of this year's 2023 Impact Award. Fun fact about Josh, one of the things he likes to watch on TV is Ultimate Tag.
That's odd. I don't even know if I should explain that. Frances has this thing at our meetings. She's really big into icebreakers. And so she always has some weird random question to ask everybody in the room. And it becomes kind of a competition because you don't want to answer the same thing as the person in front of you. So this came up in like what sport do you watch? And I didn't want to answer hockey like some lame Canadian. So anyway, but yes, I have watched Ultimate Tag and it is pretty fascinating. Anyway, I do like the segue from, we just heard from a lot of great impact statements from organizations that have received some level of grants or funding from us in the past. And now we're getting into the new stuff and hopefully they can have the same level of impact that we've just heard from. So this is pretty exciting. So I get the pleasure of presenting, I guess, or announcing the Community Impact Award, which is a $25,000 grant awarded to one agency that has an innovative, keyword innovative, we were really after that, project idea, which demonstrates creativity and leadership and supports vibrant, healthy, and caring communities. Of course, we do this under the lens of our vital conversations and vital science priorities. So we used information from our 2021 Vital Focus Report and our 2022 Vital Conversation. We took applications from agencies who address the priorities of work and economy, mental health, and vulnerable populations, specifically food security, housing stability, and domestic violence. There were 6 applicants, which our committee had the fortune to review. 3 out of those 6 organizations were then selected to present their projects to the committee in person, and we then narrowed it down to one recipient that we really thought, frankly, nailed it. We were very impressed by this presentation. So this year, the Community Impact Award will be awarded to the Brooks Farmers Market on June 1st. That's just a couple days. There'll be an announcement in Brooks at the Brooks and District Community Fund grant event, and it is for their project called Farmers Market Money. The Brooks Farmers Market is equipped to address food insecurity in the community while strengthening local farms and bringing the community together. The Farmers Market food money vouchers will be provided where a need for financial assistance for food is identified through partner organizations working directly with vulnerable populations in the community. So we're addressing food insecurity and we're helping to create some culture and community there and also support a little bit of the local economy and the producers within Brooks. So it's kind of like a win-win-win. So we're really, really happy with this project.
Thank you very much, Josh. So next year, they may be here telling you about their impact story. Now it's the good time. Now it's time for money. We're going to give out all the money. My favorite job as the chair is signing all of these checks. It is so exciting. So I would like to call up our grants chair, Glenda Hawthorne. Fun fact, traveler extraordinaire. If you want to go anywhere, talk to her. She's probably been there and she can give you tips about where to go. And the other one is our money lady, Barb Kentworthy, and she is a golfer. And if you ever want to talk about anything related to golf, she's the person you to go to. So come on down.
Hi everyone, as mentioned, I am Glenda Hawthorne and I am very pleased to be able to present this year's spring grants. We're going to start the presentation with our community grants, which count for a little less than half of the funds that we distribute annually. These grants are awarded to the charities selected from a very thorough and extensive review process that is completed by our grants committee. I want to acknowledge our grants committee. So whoever's here from our grants committee, I'd like to acknowledge you. Please stand. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication. These grants are made possible by the generosity of the Community Foundation donors who support our community's greatest needs. So thank you to all our donors. The first one is for the Scenario Center, and that is for $9,158.53. The Scenario Center is a supportive place in southeastern Alberta for those who experience sexual, domestic, and personal violence and trauma. They are working to stop it through education, training, and advocacy. This year, the Scenario Center applied for funding to create a program to support the recovery and healing of children that have been sexually abused by helping them develop secure and healthy attachments to their caregivers. This grant will help them develop and run a 15-week childhood sexual abuse psychoeducational program for non-offending parents and caregivers. They're receiving this grant of $9,158.53 for group therapy. And it's called a trauma-informed approach to parenting child sexual abuse survivors. So representing the Scenario Center is the relationship coordinator, Kelsey Calipo, and also Amy Sarsons. If you could please come up. Thank you. The next is the Connection Intercultural Association of Medicine Hat for $12,500. The Connection is an intercultural association operating in Medicine Hat. Year-round, their social events and inclusion programs provide Canadians a platform to meet and build meaningful relationships. Their international leadership training program provides training on diverse leadership and cultural competency. Leaders across various organizations gather to hear speakers of diverse backgrounds share their positive stories and cultural experiences, motivating participants to engage with people of different nationalities in their workplace and everyday life. This funding is to help with adding a virtual option. Here to accept a grant for the $12,500 is Executive Director Yusuf Mohammed and Julie McDonald. If you could please come. The next one is Kids Sport Medicine Hat for $10,000. Kids Sport provides grants to help cover the cost of registration fees so that all kids age 18 and under in Medicine Hat and Red Cliff can play a season of sport. Their chapter accepts applications and administers grants of up to $300 per child per year. This year, Kids Sport has applied for funding to assist local families and children by removing financial barriers that prevent kids from playing sports. The Community Foundation has awarded them a $10,000 grant for their So All Kids Can Play program. This grant was partially funded by the Danny Cook Memorial Fund Field of Interest Fund. And I'd like to acknowledge Heather Cook for representing the Danny Cook Memorial Fund today. So we'd like to invite Chantel Studnicki, Applications Coordinator, to receive this grant. Chantel?
Oh, it's Hannah Minor. It's Hannah Minor.
Oh.
No, maybe
Nope.
not.
Okay.
We thought Hannah was gone. Okay, okay, thank you.
The next is Ready Enterprises for $15,000. Ready Enterprises believes in a community where everyone belongs. Through a variety of programs, services, support, and advocacy, they're able to foster an environment where individuals have respect, opportunity, and responsibility. Ready strives to find ways to showcase the hidden talents that empowers individuals to be successful in work, home, and in their community. The Community Foundation would like to present a $15,000 grant for their AISH Assessment Relief Program to subsidize psychoeducational assessments throughout southeastern Alberta, where Ready has a presence. We invite Craig Wood, Executive Director with Ready, to accept this grant. The next is Praxis Science Outreach Society for $10,000. The Praxis Science Outreach Society aims to help Southeastern Albertans develop a love and understanding of science that will support them throughout their lives. Their vision is to foster a dynamic community inspired and empowered by knowledge and appreciation of science. This year, Praxis has applied for funding for their family Science Olympics and STEM resource kits. Praxis has held an annual Family Science Olympics in Medicine Hat for 30 years. The Community Foundation has awarded them a $10,000 grant for their hands-on learning program. This grant was partially funded by the Trans-Canada and Medicine Hat and Area Mainliner Social Fund Field of Interest. Here to receive the funds is Patty Rooks, Senior Scientific Consultant. Friends of Medelta Society for $4,000. The Friends of Medelta Society is dedicated to the restoration and development of Medelta Pottery's National Historic Site and the 150-acre historic clay district as a world-class artistic and cultural hub. The Friends of Medelta applied for a grant to deliver a custom floor covering for one historic beehive kiln. They're receiving a $4,000 grant for the beehive kiln revitalization. We'd like to invite Randy Lair, Board Chair, to accept this grant. Welcome, Larry.
Thank you.
Next is Red Cliff Legion for $2,100. The Royal Canadian Legion Branch Number 6 in Red Cliff has been operating since 1926. They support veterans, local seniors, youth programs, local schools, cadets, and health services. They provide services to many clubs in the area and provide support to the town of Redcliffe and the surrounding area. To continue being able to operate efficiently, the Redcliffe Legion needs repairs done to the roof. The Community Foundation has awarded them a $2,100 grant for roof repairs. Here to accept this grant is Peter Devlin, Branch President, and Al Carruthers, Building Maintenance at Redcliffe Legion.
Thank you. This is me.
Next is Edmonton's Social Planning Council for the Alberta Living Wage Network for $1,000. The Alberta Living Wage Network is a collaboration of 18 communities, includes Medicine Hat and Brooks, that explore systemic changes related to poverty reduction through a living wage calculation that considers affordability programs related to all levels of government, community, and business. The Community Foundation has awarded them a $1,000 grant for the Alberta Living Wage Network Calculation Program. I'd like to welcome Franco Savoy, the network chair, to accept a grant of $1,000 for the Alberta Living Wage Network. Going to go on to scholarships. This spring, we are dispersing over $30,097 to various school districts in our region, plus $10,590 toward our Youth in Philanthropy program. Some of the more notable and large scholarship funds includes the James and John McConnell Scholarship, which will disperse $14,480 to the Chinook School Division this year. The Valley Family Scholarship Fund will distribute $4,160 to the Grasslands Regional School Division, and the Chief Gordon Earl Leadership Legacy Fund will distribute $1,507 to various Medicine Hat school districts. All of these scholarship checks have already been sent by mail to the appropriate recipients in order for schools to prepare for the scholarships for the end of the school year. So in closing, this spring 2023 grant cycle. Oh, I'm sorry. I've missed one. Redcliffe Youth Action Society for $1,310. The Redcliffe Youth Center is committed to addressing the growing concern for social emotional needs in youth with a meaningful and intentional approach to implement change. They believe that all youth have the potential to succeed and ignite change. Their programs focus on individual growth, self-efficiency, and community. The Community Foundation has awarded them $1,310 grant for their homework program. We'd like to invite Taylor Bartman, Executive Director, to accept this grant. Thank you. My apologies for that missing, thank you. So again, getting back to closing, the spring 2023 grant cycle, we have distributed over $312,900. All of this is made possible because of our donors' continued generosity. Please join me in applauding our donors who make the work we do as a foundation possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Glenda. Thank you for everyone who was able to be here to accept checks on behalf of your organization. The Community Foundation's donors are at the center of our work at the foundation, and we wouldn't be able to celebrate 31 years without their kindness, generosity, and passion for community. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Ken Sauer and a representative from Special Olympics to present a grant to Special Olympics Alberta from the Medicine Hat Alberta Summer Games Fund. Welcome, Dr. Sauer.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Do you want to talk?
No, yes, I want to say, wait.
Let's take a picture first. Take a picture first.
Okay.
Give her the money.
Give the money, and then you give it back to me. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. You see, you give it away and it comes back to you. I just wanted to make a few comments. The Medicine Hat Alberta Game Society acts on behalf of the city of Medicine Hat to host games that come to the city. And what happens here, we've been in business since 1990, and in 2002, we put an endowment into the community foundation, and it has paid dividends, because every year the interest from that particular endowment has gone to many non-profit groups and organizations in the community. Because the Game Society wants to make this community a game one that has a quality of life for parents, for young people and old people. And this will go to the Special Olympics Canada, by the way, which I might as well throw it in there, August the 9th to the 16th, 2026, just around the corner. And we're working now on a budget for that, and we're looking for donors and other people along the way, so in partnership with the foundation. And one thing about the games, by the way, we always look for volunteers, and volunteers in the city of Medicine Hat and the area are perfect. We ask for 2,800 volunteers, we get 3,000. We ask for 3,000, we get 3,200. And we'll be looking for 1,500 of them for August. And people say, how do you do that? And we're so pleased when we get emails and letters from parents across the province of Alberta, because the games, by the way, the Alberta Games, 11 to 17 years of age. And they say, we are so proud of you because we feel that our children are safe with you. And isn't that a nice commendation? And by the way, we trust you, you're acting like parents along the way. And that is the kind of the way we want to do it. These games bring the economic benefits. For example, the 2026, we estimate it's going to be a $2.5 or $2.6 million budget, where we have an economic impact of 8.5. And so we want to show Medicine Hat how resilient we are. And the Community Foundation, of course, and all of you make this a great place in which to live and work. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sauer. I would like to introduce you to a couple of our valued donors, Marilyn Curtin and daughter Kimberly Knight. Together, they will be presenting some of the $11,220 in fund distributions from Maryland's 9 funds to representatives from Halo Air Ambulance, the Root Cellar Food and Wellness Hub, the Medicine Hat Public Library, the SPCA, the Medicine Hat and District Health Foundation, the Women's Shelter, and the Alzheimer's Society. Please join me. They're matching. Sure.
Why don't we put you in the middle of all of us?
Whoa, look at all the representatives. Thank you.
Look at all the impact you're making.
So come on in. We have Melissa with the Root Cellar, Halo, SPCA, Halo, Alzheimer's. Thank you. We need to meet in the public library. So come on in. We'll do a group shot.
Do you want to come in the middle?
This is what philanthropy looks like. All right, additionally, oh yes. Additionally, Kimberly will present a grant from the Curtin Family Fund of $4,212 to the Connection Intercultural Association of Medicine Hats. Yusuf and Julie. Thank you. Thank you so much to the Curtin family. I would like to welcome up Danielle Zemra, Senior Stakeholder Relations Advisor with Methanex, to present a grant from the Methanex Social Investment Fund and to speak about why they choose the Community Foundation as one of the many strategies they utilize for greater social impact.
Hello, everyone. I am really proud to be here today to recognize Praxis. Praxis offers wonderful STEM programming in our community, from Operation Minerva to the Regional Science Fair. They provide space for students to learn about STEM, think critically, and learn about opportunities in this field they may not have been aware of. So we're very proud to present the funds from our endowment fund to you, your legacy fund, this year.
So remember, this is just a small part of $1.2 million. Our next, oops, sorry, gotta watch my notes here. We also, over the last few years, realized that we represent Southeastern Alberta, and we wanted to make sure that we had real representation, not just people sitting in Medicine Hat talking about what probably they would want out in rural Southeastern Alberta. So we have established 4 rural community funds, and I would like to welcome Gerald Sepp, who is on the Cypress County, and he's going to come up and talk a little bit about what that looks like, and then also present the checks that they are giving. One of the things that one of our taglines is "Give where you live." And so this really became, oh, it's not Gerald, it's Richard. I was just going to tell you a little fun fact about Gerald is that he has a cabin and he always has something cold in his fridge if you want to stop by. Now, Richard, I golfed with him once in a golf tournament, so I'll just leave it at that. But come on down, Richard, and tell us a little bit about this Cypress fund. Thank you.
I am going to make sure she doesn't have history on me at all. Yes, I'm filling in for Gerald Sepp. He's the chair. A couple of things I'd like to also thank was Della. Thank you for preparing this speech. You're going to enjoy this speech and you're going to say, he did a great job, and I'm only here to read it. So I want, Della and Nikki did this, and I think they deserve the credit. Also, as I'm sitting out in the crowd, I got to acknowledge that Cypress County was very, very, very slow getting on board with the Community Foundation. And Stan Sakamoto, I talked to him numerous times over the last numerous years. I don't want to go back how long ago we started talking about it, but he would phone every 6 months and say, Richard, we need Cypress County to get on board with this. And okay, and then I'd approach some council members, and everybody always thought we were too busy. Well then, what was it, last year I think, Stan? We talked again, and I went back to council and I said, he's not going away. Like, let's just do it. Let's just get it done. And also I see Barry Neubauer sitting over there, and he wasn't going away. He was part of the conversation. And Barry, thanks for your guidance as for our committee. I do appreciate all your experience on that. So as I've said, my name is Richard Oster. I'm Deputy Reeve, Cypress County, and I'm also a member of the Cypress County Community Fund Advisory Committee that was formed in 2021. We all want to leave our mark on this world, to know our life mattered. Perhaps you want to be remembered for your hobbies, your values, or your accomplishments. John P. Ignatius will be forever remembered by the Community Foundation of Southeastern Alberta for just that. Without John, CFC would not exist today. John was born in Oregon in 1918. His family moved to Alberta in 1919, where they farmed and ranched north of Etzicum, then purchased a property southeast of Seven Persons. John enjoyed a rural lifestyle for more than 80 years. Later, he owned several ranches, one north of Jenner on the Red Deer River, one west of Brooks, another in the Cypress Hills, and finally a ranch south of Irvine, where he continued to operate until his passing. Early in John's life, he became the founder of new ventures, including the Jenner's 4-H Multi-Club, and remained associated with that club for over 32 years. He was passionate about leaving a legacy for generations to come in the agricultural sector. True to his desire to leave a legacy, upon John's passing on January 8, 2000, he gifted the foundation more than $2.4 million. His financial impact has helped many individuals across southeastern Alberta. I think John would be proud to see how far we have come over the past 30 years. And I think he would be happy to know that rural communities are also receiving a strong representation in the region. Being a rancher and rural Albertan himself, I hope the 4 rural community endowment funds would make him smile. In 2019, the Community Foundation established the first 3 community funds to serve the charitable needs of specific geographical regions within southeastern Alberta. By 2021, the impact these funds had on the regions inspired the launch of the Cypress County Community Fund. These 4 permanent endowment funds were established by local residents and enable the community to give where you live. CFC and the Communities Fund's local advisory committees are dedicated to improving the understanding of unique issues facing communities across southeastern Alberta. Since the inception of these 4 rural funds, a total of $520,000 has been distributed to address these communities' greatest needs. We have 1 grant to present to you today from the Cypress Community Foundation. That grant is for the Dunmore Equestrian Society, and it's in the amount of $5,000. And I would like Kathy Schnell to come up and accept that for the grant. The Dunmore Equestrian Center is a year-round multi-purpose facility offering a variety of agriculture, community, and social events and programs in southeastern Alberta. This year, they applied for funding for their 2023 Heritage Gathering. This will be the 2nd annual festival that celebrates and shares our Western traditions and Indigenous culture, honoring our ancestors while building social connections in our community. Congratulations to the Dunmore Equestrian Society. Is that the right way we're doing it? Okay, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we got one thing left. I have no idea what it is. So, okay. Oh, one ticket. One ticket. Talk to Barb. I have no tickets. Talk to Barb. This is the end. We've come to the end. I want to thank, what I love about these gatherings is we have donors sitting with recipients, hearing impact stories. It actually gives me goosebumps just talking about it. I love the fact that you like our vision, you agree with our vision, you support our vision, and we wouldn't be here without all of you, every single person who is here. Last week I was at a meeting and one of the guest speakers talked about, instead of thinking outside the box, he said we need to think inside the circle. And I thought it really spoke to me about being inside this circle. And today there were many references about circle, the circle of care, and somebody else talked about the circles. We are a circle right here. Take a look at the people who are sitting at the other tables. We are within our circle. We think within our circle. We support our circle. And what happens is, because we are here in this circle, it ripples out. And we touch millions, like with millions of dollars, we touch hundreds of thousands of people. We change lives. And I'm so honored to be here, to be representing you. This is my last kick at the cat. I don't get the mic anymore. I will be done as of June 30th. So I just really want to thank you. I have so enjoyed my time as chair of this very amazing organization. One more number. The foundation has dispersed over $9.6 million since John Ignatius came up with the idea and started this foundation. $9.6 million within southeastern Alberta. So give yourselves a round of applause. Just one last quick story. There's a young fellow that sits in our community leadership committee, and he actually received a scholarship that John Ignatius supported. So I love that full circle of how now he gives back to. Oh, I thought they were coming down on me. He gives back to us. Please stay, enjoy. There is no more food, but there will be something to eat. It's like, I didn't eat. I'm gonna have to. Anyways, it has been lovely. Thank you so much for coming, and take care of yourself, and if you can, take care of somebody else.